Oh, I'm interested in the musical aspect of your character because she, puts on her headphones and like gets in the zone. If music is important to you, and how it's important to you, and if we're going to see more of that in season 2.
I think you'll always see more music with her. That's like a huge part of her life. Music is really important to me too. I think I use it a lot for work, for emotional scenes, and should try to get into a headspace. It really, really helps.
Did you take it upon yourself, or with help from the cast and or the directors, do research into rape survivors, PTSD, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I met with a therapist before season 1 who primarily meets with victims of assault, and I spoke to her at length, especially about the assault scene in particular. What she had to say was interesting. She said that it's not necessarily for some people. Each person's experience is different, but it's not necessarily initially visibly emotional. A lot of people experience disassociation, where they sort of leave their body, and so I tried to emulate that in the show because it was really, really important to me to get it right. And I spoke to her at length about the trauma that follows and how it never really leaves you. And I spoke to some people in my own life who have been assaulted, and
that must have been hard.
it sure was. Sure was.
So I can only imagine then that presents a bit of a challenge coming into this is an intense show to do, it's an important show to do. What's that process of just saying, I have to get myself ready to step into this space again? Because on one hand you get to play this great character and tell a great story, but it can't be easy.
The head in the darkness.
Yeah, you just gotta kind of do it. I don't know. I mean, because things are going to happen in your own life, and you just have to kind of put your blinders on and push everything else aside and totally focus on this one thing for 4 to 6 months, for 12 to 16 hours a day, and just do it.
You pull it off amazingly well.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
In episode 10, we see Henry's abilities kind of develop in a big way. How will she handle that moving forward into season 2?
Henry in season 2 is working on controlling her power, and in season 1 I think Henry is avoiding her trauma, and she realizes that her trauma is the key to making her power happen and not letting it happen to her. And so she's taking her power back in a literal way and in a metaphorical way as well.
I first of all just think that disassociation that you're describing, you portray that so excellently. That's what I got out of watching it, which is really great. And my question is a little bit of a follow-up, where I feel like sometimes when we are looking at trauma, we kind of have this narrative of I wouldn't be the person who I was without this thing that happened that was really bad. It makes me strong. But then there's the risk of almost glamorizing it, or then letting the perpetrator of that well, I made you who you are.
Yeah.
Do you have thoughts about that kind of
I think that's only in I think your trauma is your own thing, and you get to decide what it is to you. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be an Instagram post. It doesn't have to be a tweet. It doesn't have to be this whole article of opinions. It's your trauma, and you get to decide what you do with it and what you define it as, and how it can be painful and possibly inspiring, and it's yours.
In season 2, there's lots more in the way of physical stunts. Can you talk about training for those physical stunts?
There's one scene where it's in the teaser, so I can say this. They drag me through the mud with a harness on, and I'm like on this rope system. I don't know how it works, but they drag me like fully through the mud. There's also lots of like running through the woods and the pouring rain scenes, and then like slipping. I don't know how I prepare for it. You just kind of go and do it, and then like try to forget that it happened.
How was it to go to Bucharest?
Bucharest.
How was that?
I loved it. It's beautiful there. And the food is really good. Like really, really good.
Did you come up with a favorite dish?
I forget what it's called. But there's this restaurant, I think it's called La Mama? Looking for my husband because he would know. We went together. But it's called Mama or Lama, it's something. I think it's La Mama. And they have just traditional Romanian like comfort food.
Very nice.
So I feel like I want to bring the mood up a little bit. Let's just talk about
I can't do that.
let's just talk, what do you love about this show? What do you love most about just going to work every day and getting to do this?
The cast. It's a really good group of people. We all love each other, so it's fun.
Yeah, I think the connection you have with Sarah seems really clear. You guys are referencing each other and crying together. So, no, I think that's great.
We're both such messes. We cry all the time.
That's a good release. Read a study that it's toxin. You got to let it out.
I know.
Seriously. But what have you kind of taken from that sisterhood or that friendship, you know, that you're going to take with you into season 2 and into other, you know, jobs that you might have?
It's just nice to be with another woman who's also my peer in this business and be totally supportive of each other. And like, she just recently booked something, I can't say what it is, but I like immediately when I heard, I was just like, oh, you know. And I know when I book something, she has the same reaction. She's so happy for me, so it's nice.
Oh, yes. Hi. I was thinking you were going to say something there. I thought I was going to cut you off. So, this is a show, too, that I find a lot of people are still discovering, and I find it hard to kind of explain it to them sometimes. Do you have, like, a favorite moment or a favorite episode that you would say, hey, guys, if you're going to get into the show and give it a shot, make sure you don't miss this or this particular. I'm really proud of this.
Episode 5 in season 2 is so good. I love episode 5. Henry gets to like really triumph, which like we haven't seen. She hasn't had like a winning moment. So when I read it, I was like, oh. And then there's an episode in season 2 where Jenna and Henry get to dance together, and it's really cute.
You say that.
Weird to dance to no music though. It's real weird.
Did you pick a song that you were both going to have in your heads, even though?
I mean, they played the song before, and then there's like the click track, and we're just like, sure. She's looking at me, and I'm looking at her, and I'm just like, this is gonna be forever on the internet. Yeah.
Thank you very much.